So basically, testing, as I told you, that it is just to find out the defects, okay, if it is not working according to the functionality. But on an overall thing, testing is divided into two types. One is the functional testing, the second one is non-functional testing. So coming to the functional testing, what is this functional testing says is that, so we will only just verify the functionality here. Verifying the functionality in the sense, suppose consider that you have a login credentials. First thing is that you have a Gmail account and you want to log into Gmail account. Think that that is a requirement. Okay, so you will just verify the functionality whether you are able to log in or not. That is called a functional testing. Just functional testing, you are just verifying a functionality. And coming to the non-functional testing, you don't concentrate much on the functionality. You concentrate on the other characteristics. So other characteristics in the sense, consider a performance testing. Okay, performance testing is one of the type of non-functional testing. We also have different kinds of non-functional testing phases. Number one is performance testing. Okay, second one is security testing. And we have many types in that. So compatibility testing, this, that, many types of testings we do have in non-functional testing. So coming to the functional testing, what we actually do. So actually people say that we want to move to automation and then we want to learn Selenium, we want to learn QTP. All these are functional testing tools with which they'll be able to find out the functionality of any application. Example, the tools which we'll use in functional testing is QTP, Selenium. Okay, we have other tools also. So these are the tools which we will be using in the functional testing. Coming to the non-functional testing, as I said, there are different types of testing in that. So for a performance testing, we do use a Loadrunner, JMeter, Silk Performer, next Loadrunner, JMeter, and IBM RPT, Rational Performance Tester. IBM RPT. So all these are the different tools in the market with which we will do a performance testing. And coming to the security testing, we use different kinds of tools. So now you got a clear-cut idea. So now performance testing will come under one of the type of non-functional testing. So when you are assigned a project in the performance testing, you will be called as NFT, non-functional tester, rather than a performance tester. So that is called a non-functional testing. So people should have a clear-cut idea what they want to learn in their testing. So it is like, do you want to move to functional testing or do you want to move to non-functional testing? So people in functional testing can also learn in non-functional testing, that is performance testing also. So learning both QTP, Selenium and non-functional testing, it is a greater advantage for a manual tester who can learn these kind of tools. So people usually think that they will be already who has done an automation, they will be just increasing their skill set by learning more number of functional testing tools. And coming to non-functional testing, it is a completely different background. Okay, that is what the major difference between the functional testing tools and non-functional testing tools. And QTP and Selenium are functional testing tools, and Loadrunner, JMeter, Silk Performer and IBM RPT comes under performance testing tools. So is it clear? Any doubts in this? Okay, fine. Let me just start a performance testing overview. So what is this performance testing overview and what are the concepts? So let me just give you an example. Okay, here I have opened a browser called, I just opened another browser, www.google.com. Okay, so what is this? What are we actually giving here? So why are we typing www.google.com? Why are we doing all these things? Why can't you just, why not the other way? So what are we actually giving in this URL? Yes, address. It is an address. So what are we actually giving here? We are just giving an address. Okay, address of what? We are just pointing out here the Google server. We are just saying that www, that is worldwideweb.google.com. I am giving an address of one particular application. So where it is automatically, the moment I click enter, it is automatically pointing me to that particular server. Okay, so that means from this what you can understand is that the moment you type an address, it is automatically pointing to that particular application. The basic things. Okay, so once the moment you give an URL address here, it is pointing to that particular application. That means that application is being deployed on that Google server. Suppose if you are opening irctc.co.in, think that you are opening this application. So here irctc.co.in, it is automatically, you have given an address And if you see the address here, https colon double slash, what is it saying? It is saying that it is a secured hypertext transfer protocol secured with the address. It is automatically pointing to IRCTC server. So so the moment you give it, so where it is pointing to, if I am saying it is a server, okay, some server where the application is being deployed. So what is the meaning of a server? Okay, what is the actually the server is? So the server is nothing but it is just an just a larger configuration of a computer where that application is being deployed. So if you are using a computer or a laptop, the basic thing is that you can only use a computer. I cannot access your computer. Okay, but if the server is been okay present, now I am able to hit the server by knowing the address. If someone opens IRCTC also, they are able to hit the server by typing an by address. So what is happening is that they will get an access to the server box, okay, where the application is being deployed, so that we can access the complete site. So why am I saying this as an example is that, so coming to the performance testing, we are here to analyze the performance of the websites. We are here to understand the reliability of a system, of an application. We are here to understand the capacity of an application. So performance testers basically what they do is that they will understand the performance of a system. That is first point. Capacity, reliability, scalability. All these are the terminology which we will be using in a performance testing. Okay. So what is meant by scalability? Example to give scalability, think that IRCTC when initially developed, it is only for the very less users. Okay, so day by day the usage has been increasing very rapidly. So that means the application is being used by a lot of people. So it has to actually, the moment it has been deployed on IRCTC server, the configuration in the sense the capacity of this system is to handle only 10,000 people per day. But it is keep on increasing, the load is being keep on increasing. At some point of time, the load is crossing beyond 10,000 where it cannot give you, where it cannot actually serve your functionality. So have you observed when you are trying to book a ticket in Tatkal that you will get internet page cannot be displayed, there are no errors, I mean there is an error, it cannot connect to the page, 404 errors, 505 errors, all these are the different errors you will be facing when you are trying to access the page. That means the server is not able to serve your purpose because the configuration or the system on which it is deployed, it is not able to serve you properly. So in the performance testing, what I am doing is that I will understand the performance of a system. First, I will just keep a load of 1,000 people, or I will keep a load of 2,000 people and a 10,000 people load. Suppose if the application has been designed for 10,000 people, this IRCTC, I will test the application with 10,000 people and see whether I am able to open all the pages or not. How fast it is giving me the pages and whether it is displaying properly or not. So all these are the different things which I will observe. This is called scalability is nothing but I can also see, suppose now this application is been designed for 10,000 people and next if I want to increase it to 15,000 people, I will just run the load 15,000 people. I'll just run on the system and verify whether it is able to handle the 15,000 people or not. So I am just scaling this application to more number of people and then verifying whether it is able to serve the purpose or not beforehand. Before releasing the application to public, I am checking all these things. All these things can be done only using a performance test. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. So that is called scalability and reliability. And reliability in the sense, see, if more number of people are started using the system, the application might crash. Crash in the sense, it will not give us the actual pages. The moment you click a login, it will not give you a login screen. It will not say anything. It will be blank sometimes, 404 errors, many different errors it might show us. Okay, so that is called reliability. Increasing the load, what is happening to your system, that is called reliability of the system. So we check the performance also. So the moment you give a user ID and then click login, how much time it is taking to login. So that is called a performance. So all these are the different metrics which we will be calculating using a performance testing. So have you understood what is the scalability, reliability, capacity, performance? Any doubts in this? Okay, thank you. So next comes actual concept. Let us explain you this. So this is what I have explained you. So the moment The moment you see, if you see here this diagram, let me just expand you. See here what is happening. The moment I am just typing in my address, that is called www got some address, it is traveling via internet and it is hitting some kind of server here. As I told you, if you are typing www.google.com, okay, what is happening? It is just hitting the Google server. So what is a server? It is just a computer with a larger configuration. It is just computer with a larger configuration where you can access this particular application. Okay, so that is called a server. So coming to the background architecture. So background architecture, in the sense, we have, as I told you, that application will be deployed in a server. Okay, so out of the server, we have different boxes or the components here in the backend. Okay, if I am saying there is a server, okay, it can be only one server, but we have a multiple components in the backend. So what are the different kinds of servers we do actually have is that we should have, we do have web server, the next one is an application server, and the third one is a database server. We will have the three components in the backend where the application is being deployed. So the moment I give an address www.google.com, so what is happening? It is just going and hitting the web server. So let me just type this address and show you. Suppose if I am just typing google.com, so what is happening? At the moment I click enter, it is just displaying me a home page. So all these home pages will be saved in a first server called web server. So what is this web server? All the static content will be saved in the web server. Okay, all the static content will be saved in the web server. That is called, that is why we are able to open the pages very fastly. So that server, it will not hold any functionality. It will just hold only the static pages of an application. So the moment you hit the moment you provide the URL address, it will automatically pop us the home page. So the first component of a backend of any system or an application is the web server. So you understood what is web server. Web server is nothing but it's a server which will hold the static pages. So coming to the second component. Second component, what we actually have is that second component is an application server. Okay, so let me just type here what is the backend architecture. That is 3-tier. Now I am speaking about the 3-tier architecture. Okay, the first component is web server. Web server where it will display the static pages. So next comes the application server. Okay, what is this application server holds? So looking at this name itself, you can understand that application server holds the functionality of an application. So all the functionalities of an application functionality will be saved, will be deployed in application server. So next comes the database server. So in the database server, the tables, okay, table information, all these things will be in the database server. Basically, the table, the search criteria. Have you seen now IRCTC when you are trying to search for a trains? What is happening? It is displaying complete list of trains. So the complete tables and a lot of login IDs, registered IDs, people, all the information. So all the table information will be placed in database server. So basically we have three components in a 3-tier architecture. So if I am saying that three components, this is 3-tier architecture. So all these are the mandatory components. You can also have an extra components other than this. You can have a load distributor, load balancer you can have, and in between firewall you can have. So the architecture, it depends. It depends based on each and every application. But by default, you will have all these three components. One is a web server, the second one is application server, and the third one is the database server. So coming to the web server, it will display all the static pages, and coming to the application server, the complete functionality will be deployed in an application server, and coming to the database server, all the table related information will be displayed in database server. Okay. So this is about the three-tier architecture. Any queries in this, Govind? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. So next comes the other one. Okay, so why are we actually, so now we are actually, now I said that application backend architecture and the front end, everything is going on fine. So why we are actually doing a performance testing? Why performance testing? So what is happening is that when you are trying to access a system, so the client is nothing but it is just our computer. We are connected to internet. It may be any network. So once you are able to connect the network, what is happening is that you are trying to access a system. So you are just going and hitting the web servers. So you will have a multiple web servers if the application is very, very big. Something like if the application is able to support the 10,000 users or 20,000 users, single server is not enough for you to accommodate. So you will have a multiple servers, multiple web servers, multiple application servers, and then multiple database servers. Okay. Now what you are going to do is that, consider in this case the example is IRCTC. Okay. Now you are able to access the IRCTC during the Tatkal time, and then you are able to hit the home page. But sometimes you are not able to see the home page because the web server which is present in the back end, it is not able to serve your purpose, or it might fail because of some of the other reason. Have you seen here the load balancer? The load balancer, what is it actually doing is that it is just distributing the load across the web servers. The moment you hit the request here, it is coming here, and then it is just hitting this particular web servers here. Okay, so one of the web server got crashed due to one reason or the other reason. You are not sure. Okay, when you have deployed the application to the public, so what happens is that everybody will use the application. Okay, when everybody is using an application, you cannot restrict them. It can fail at any point of time due to any reason. You cannot predict that. So what is happening is that you once you have given a request based on the load, now the three web servers are sharing an users. Now unfortunately one server got failed. So now the load is being distributed across these two web servers where the load is being increasing repeatedly. So what happens is that at some point of time the performance will be less, because now instead of doing 3 people doing the work, only 2 people are doing work, 2 servers are doing the work. Now what happens, the performance will automatically come down and it might crash in the near future. So because of these things, so if this happens to any HDFC or an ICICI or any these kind of banking applications, there is a huge loss to the business once they release to public. Think that if you want to transfer funds from HDFC bank, you want to transfer funds to your friend. So if the application is down, you will just close the account from that bank and you will open the bank account in any other reputed bank. Okay, so that is a huge business loss to the business owners. So now what I thought is that instead of making them fail in the real time, so why don't we introduce a performance testing phase before releasing an application into live? So that is why performance testing has got such an importance, okay, before making an application live. That is the basic thing. So now you might have understood why performance testing is important and when it is being introduced. I mean, when the performance testing has to be introduced. So now if you want to do any performance testing, the basic thing is that it should be functionally stable. Okay, it should be functionally stable to do this kind of testing. So we will do this performance testing only after the SIT phase, UAT phase. Once that phase is completed, performance testing phase will come into picture and it will be maximum 3 months a project. A project will stay not more than 3 months, or it can stay just for 1 month and the application will go live after that. And there are other phases also where the performance testing phase will come up. It can be they might have taken the team during the development phase itself. Why they are taking the team during the development phase itself? They'll have a complete idea on application and what are the requirements it is going to be there and what are the critical requirements out of it. So if they hire a performance testing team during the development phase also, there are cases where they hire the performance testers during a development phase as well. So there will be 2 different kinds of situations where the performance testers will usually stay. One, before the application going live, and the other situation is that they can be in a project when during the development phase itself. So any queries till now? Okay, fine then. So let me just explain you the methodology. So what is this actually performance methodology does? Performance methodology in the sense, so normally if you are a manual tester or if you are a developer, your thing is that you will get a requirements, you will start with the coding phase and then you will do a unit testing and then you will submit a code if you are a developer. If you are a tester, you will get the requirements, you will just choose the tool, you write a test cases, you execute it and then you will submit the report. So in the same way, performance testing will also have a different methodology or a approach to do the complete testing. So let me just explain you the complete performance testing methodology. So coming to the first phase of it is the requirement analysis. So what is this requirement analysis is nothing but, so as I said that manually test, in a normal manual testing phase, what we actually do is that we just test all the requirements where they have given for each functionality. Suppose, example here, Google is there, okay? Google is mainly for search. So what are the requirements we can include here? The one thing is I can search here and then I can click this option and I can click this option and I can search, and other than this I cannot do anything here in the Google. So now when you are doing a functional testing, you will test all the functionalities which is available in the each phase. But when I am doing a performance testing, I will not concentrate on all the minor functionalities. I will only just concentrate on a functionality which has a very critical importance. I will not completely test, because as you have already tested the application, there is no point we testing this application again and again. So basically we concentrate on the requirements where it has a very much critical importance. Okay, so out of this page, if I want to do a performance testing, for a Google, so what I will consider is that I will consider only the search criteria. Okay, I will not concentrate on other options which is available in this particular page, but I will just concentrate on the search criteria. This is for a sample project I have explained. So it depends on each and every applications. So requirement analysis is nothing but we will just study the complete application and then I will decide what are the critical requirements in that application and then I will freeze those requirements. Suppose you have 20 to 30 requirements, okay, the complete requirements in an application. Out of all the 30, I will just finalize only 5 requirements which are very, very important and which will be mostly used by the people. I will consider in my requirement analysis phase. So coming to the test planning, so what I basically do is that I will pick up these 5 requirements which I have finalized in the first phase, and then I will prepare a test plan document. So in the test plan document, I will prepare what is my testing responsibilities and what are the important test cases and what is the test environment, and it is like a normal test plan which we actually prepare for a normal functional testing. The same way I will prepare a test planning, but here I will have total resources, what is the time duration, so what are the tests I am going to execute. This kind of document I will prepare in a test plan. Next comes the test implementation. In the test implementation, basically what I will do is that now we will be using a tool here. So now Loadrunner is one of the tool which we will be using for performance testing. So I will use a Loadrunner. What are the 5 requirements I have finalized here? I will prepare scripts here. I will prepare scripts for the 5 requirements and I will do an execution with the load. This load can be 10,000, 1500, or it is that load depends upon the business. And okay, so here I will do an execution and finally I will submit the results. So these are the 5 different phases which we will be using in a performance testing. So this is called a testing methodology which I will be using in my performance testing project.